So outrageous the toll. You can lose all you have. We refuse to give in to the town that takes all. To survive, you must have the will. How this movie doesn't end the way we want all the time. And he shouts at the moon, she's gone. Fears overcome. He was walking a mile. He was walking alone. How
We started on fart, right?
I didn't hear one.
It was silent, but you'll notice soon enough, I'm pretty sure.
Jay, that was a good one.
Right on cue.
Don't worry, we'll just blame it on the dog.
Yeah, it's that flying, farting dog who exists just to give us farts.
That's where they come from.
Farts or dogs?
Both.
What came first, the fart or the dog?
From a purely evolutionary perspective, it would have been the dog would have come first, because the first proto-dog would have evolved before it could release the first proto-fart.
But the first fart was the Big Bang.
Yes, and who farted? It was the dog.
Always.
Yeah, so
Always.
the dog was there before creation. I mean, obviously, you know, in translation, they turned it around and they spelled it backwards. But originally, it was the dog farting.
Was it
And-
Doge? It was Doge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Much stink.
Wow.
Wow, much stink, so creation. Much sentience.
Oh, we're
So
off to a classy start.
Such free will.
Oh, this can only go uphill.
Hey everybody, welcome to Funk Dunk Play Season 2, Episode 25. That's a lot of episodes, and at this point, we're not sorry anymore. Well, I'm
Well.
not. They might be. Are you sorry?
Only at night when I'm alone. It's sad.
Well,
Big
oh
bird.
yeah, but aren't we all?
Big
Yeah.
boot.
But I meant particularly about this.
Oh, no.
Okay, where we left off, you guys were in the tower of Bilfador, the deceased and
Dickhead.
rather unpleasant mage. He has dicks all over his head, actually. Face is covered in
Yes.
dicks written in Sharpie. Well, actually, you don't know it's written in Sharpie. I want to make this very clear. It's probably written in Sharpie, but since Sharpies don't exist, you're kind of like, you think it's Sharpie, or you would if you knew what Sharpie was, but it really, you just think it's very, very high quality painting of dicks.
Mhm. I mean, I'm not speaking for it, but my personal headcanon is that it's just demon cum. The demons use
demons
their
come in
own
the
dicks
form
to
of
draw
dicks.
dicks on other people. And it's very acidic and precise.
So a demon, theoretically, could sign someone's dick with their own dick.
That's also how they tattoo each other.
Well, that's true now.
Well,
There's no two ways around it. That's actually reality.
yes! I made a thing!
You have altered how demons work in this game. Or at least what happens when a demon jizzes on a living being. You know, I don't know if that's like something that when you're in your 90s and you're sitting in that rocking chair and all the little kids are gathered around and they're like, Great grandmama, what did you do before the Fourth Great War? And you'll be like, oh, you whippersnappers, I came up with what happens when a demon jizzes on someone. And they're like, oh mama, oh, tell us again, tell us the whole story of the demon cum. Because the world will be pretty bleak by then, and your demon cum will be kind of like, fairy tale
I hope
level
I don't
stuff.
get that old.
Well, there'll be 4 more great wars before then.
Oh, that's great.
He'll be the only one left on Earth with only one butt. Everyone else will have mutated from the wars. It'll be like Mad Max, but instead of like people with multiple arms and black and like body armor, everyone will have like 17 butts. You will be the Unabutter. They will tell stories about you and your one butt.
Yeah, am I like worshipped or ostracized?
Both. So we're in the tower, and you have eaten a jelly bean.
Exciting.
You're now imbued with the knowledge that the jelly bean gave you. Remember, it doesn't tell you it in particular, just like all of a sudden, plop, you know this.
So first things first, I guess. I'll just tell them what I know now, I guess, to make it short.
Then I will sum up for the people who, the millions who are listening at home, and everyone listening on pay-per-view in the year 2693. Ain't history class fun, kids? It really is. That's to the kids in history class, and this will really make sense in a few hundred years. You received information that there was this cave that was extremely well hidden. Maybe, what was it, half a day's travel? I think it was half a day's travel, and if I'm wrong, fuck it, it's half a day now. Roughly half a day's travel to the west, and that it is believed by the higher echelons of the Butt family, the very higher ups, that it doesn't even require guards, because it is so well hidden by the most powerful and undetectable magic. The only people really who know about it, assuming other than like the tippy top upper echelon of the Butt family, would be the people who actually have to work there.
Is this all building up to a vagina joke? Secret hidden
No.
caves and... Okay, cool. Just wanted to know.
No, but trust me, there's not going to be a button that neither of you can find, no matter how hard
I mean,
you
I
look.
would know where it is, so out of game.
Would you? Would you? There's going to be a man in a boat and he's going to get lost. I don't know. So that's what you relay, this information about this hidden facility where, to your knowledge, the being referred to as the other anomaly is being held.
So I tell them that. Any oohs and ahs, or...
Okay, so that's where we're going next. As soon as we can get out of this fucking city?
It would seem that would be the best course of action. Get rid of this nuisance as fast as possible.
You could have just asked me to leave. The contract is completed. I am very insulted by this. I will leave now.
Do we still need him?
And Doofus McStonethrust storms away. He's personally insulted.
We'll call if we need you.
Thank you.
I'll call you. Don't worry about it. Ha! That was a joke, lols. And he continues away.
Oh, good. We don't have to drag him along. I mean, I like him, but
Hey,
it's getting kind of unwieldy.
I mean, I only needed him for one thing, and he already did it, so...
Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn to Eliza and say, any idea where your little squid friend is at the moment?
Okay, so I guess I'll go into my familiar vision and see where Wingless is at.
Is there a max range for that? For your ability to see through his eyes?
Okay, while it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. And use its eyes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna... So since you can't actually, like...
Okay, I mean, so I guess I don't know where he is, then, assuming he's off doing what I sent him to do.
I would say you can kind of get a general feel for, like, basically his general condition. And, like, is he in trouble? If he's in trouble, you could kind of tell. If he's just kind of doing the thing, you can tell. And you can kind of tell roughly how far away he is. Like, if he's miles, tens of miles, doesn't, you know, like, very generalized, because you do still have a psychic link. But
Okay, so
yeah.
we sent him to go outside the gate to deliver a message to the army. Has he done that yet?
You get a sense that he is just sort of doing the thing. You don't get a sense of, like, that he's coming back yet. He hasn't actually delivered the message yet. He's probably on his way. He's on his way to do the thing. He hasn't quite done it yet.
I think he's in transit.
Very well. The thing is, I want to open an arcane gate for the army. I think I said as much in the message. I mean, it's actually a spell, arcane gate. For this to work, I need it works like this. I can create 2 linked portals within 500 feet of each other. So I would have to be pretty close to the city wall, and they would have to be too, basically. So that's why I marked a spot on the map for them to kind of just stand there. I guess within like 400 feet or so of the wall, of the gate, so I can let them in. We have the city gates, and presumably the highest concentration of city guards on Stab's side is concentrated there.
They would be kind of on the side where the army has massed, yeah. Because, well, it would be silly to like not be paying attention to that. I mean, there are guards sort of all around the walls, but they are mostly at the gate. Yeah, way mostly at the gate.
So, I know the
are.
city, and I would like to find a spot within like 100 feet of the city wall, but still not out in the open. Maybe an alleyway or something? Can I make a roll to find a good spot for this to work? Like something that is decently concealed?
Yeah, we can do that.
That would be an investigation?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Fuck this.
Luckily, your bonus is good enough to make this really average.
Yeah.
Remember, a 9 is only a smidgen below average. And considering what you're looking for is just where would be a good place for an invading army to be able to magically appear, it's not like you're trying to figure out where the hidden door is or some shit. While there is a large massing of guards on top of the wall, they're armed with bows and, shit like that. And there are a lot of soldiers in the general vicinity of the gate itself. The gate is heavily barred and fortified, so it's not like there are standing guards all over the place near the gate. There are soldiers kind of milling about. They're not currently engaged in warfare. They're sort of like being there because that's the best way to make sure they don't have to fight, is if people think they'll fight. Sort of thing, like stand there with a big stick and hope no one comes towards you.
Yeah.
So even though as you're looking, you do find a particular alleyway that's actually probably only about 30 feet from the wall. It's actually right next to a city guard primary watch house. But no one's really using that watch house.
Nice.
Because the city guard have all been conscripted into by the army. So sort of like the city guard stuff is kind of being left out there, because let's face it, city guards, they walk around with like short swords and truncheons. The army's like, here, you're gonna put on some armor and carry these big ass motherfucking swords and fight a war. So their stuff is kind of viewed as piddle and small time for an actual war. So it's close to the wall, close to the gate, but also not really heavily trafficked.
Alright, so that's the setup. And now I need an answer from them. Want to play a game of snakes and ladders?
Yeah, we never actually.
We never did that.
That's a thing that she's had in her stuff since the beginning.
If you're gonna play snakes and ladders, I want to see who wins.
I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna.
It's all based on random rolls anyway. So.
Yep. However, snakes and ladders. Ooh. Amazingly, it on their first roll hits a snake and actually falls off the board.
Oh. Yeah, Eliza has a broken board.
Yeah, Eliza beat you like literally before she took a single move.
Yeah, she plays the evil version of the game where you can fall off the bottom of the board.
Well, at least she doesn't Eldritch Blast you at the end, right?
No.
If you lose.
Officially, we haven't established that in canon, so I don't know if she's Eldritch Blast you or not.
Not you, but some people maybe.
Aww. Oh, that's so sweet.
She needs you alive.
You didn't
Hey.
murder. That's so sweet.
To put a damper on that.
So you're sitting there playing board games in an alley, like you do, and eventually you hear a scurrying noise, and Wingless, with his little, he had a little, like,
Mailman hat.
mailman hat, yeah, comes scurrying around the corner. Does Wingless, like, leap onto your shoulder, or into your arms, or onto your face? What does this octopus do?
Probably climbs up onto my shoulder, yeah.
Okay. Making adorable noises the whole time.
What's he say?
He doesn't say
He
anything,
makes a
but he
blah, 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 blah,
does
blah.
And then, hands the... whatever. I assume he's carrying a response that he can hand over to
have...
it.
He is carrying a response that is written in extremely fine handwriting, and it says, "Dear friends,
Hi.
it does appear that we cannot dissuade you from making this war go faster than we previously expected. In which case, we have only one request. Upon creating your portal, please follow the instruction which will be given to you upon our traversing through. It is of the utmost importance. Love, Commander Squibbles."
Jesus. Is that the guy? Or is that the other guy? Oh, no.
It's, well, we think you... Okay, you don't even know it's a guy, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, we'll see.
Commander Squibbles could be a
Yeah,
lady, you don't know.
It's true.
Why are you being so sexist?
I hate women.
Why do you hate Commander Squibbles?
I hate old people, actually. Alright, I'm gonna show this to Eliza and say, what do you think?
Let him in, but I'll wait until I hear the request before I say yes or no.
Good plan. So I hope they're in position. I will cast Arcane Gate. Okay, first of all, like I start casting, right? And concentrating and open the gate. But also, before we forget, 92.
Okay, let me see how this is going to affect Evan. Pierce your throat.
Yes,
Everything into
that's
the
right.
butts. Oh. Well, that's an interesting one.
Oops.
You stretch out your hands, chanting the arcane words, summoning the power around you, doing all the magic shit. You don't even know if you really need arcane words if you're a sorcerer. You're sort of like...
Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you just sort of grab the power out of the air and be like, "Rrr, bend, twist."
Yeah.
You know. And as you're bending and twisting the very fabric of reality, you notice, again, and this seems to be happening a lot to you lately, a sensation in your body, in the core of yourself, and you all of a sudden get a feeling that goes through your head that you honestly haven't had before.
Brain tumor.
Happiness.
Individual thought?
As you're, like I said, you're bending the very fabric of reality, and all of a sudden you get a feeling of, I could do this all day. This is easy. Nothing about this. I could literally, this isn't even making me tired.
Mm-hmm.
As the randomness of the wild magic has given you a permanent +2 Constitution bonus.
Yes!
So you get 1 hit point per
I
level.
can use that. My gate is open.
The gate is
And
open.
if someone is standing at the marked point, they will see a gate open for them, which is not visible from
Yep.
the other side, as far as I can understand that spell.
And then from your end, you see the gate shimmer for a second. You see, kind of like, at first, because things kind of focus in from like being a shadow into like more of a solid form that travel through the gate. At first, you think they've sent a gigantic crab.
Which would be a surprise in this campaign.
No, but it's not a gigantic crab. You realize it appears to be 2 rather large, burly men carrying between them an extremely large barrel. And as they sort of side waddle their way through the gate, because that's the only way they can move while carrying this gigantic barrel, A man in fine, shining armor walks behind them and goes through the gate behind them. And the men sort of start waddling towards the city wall with their barrel. The man looks at them kind of approvingly, nods. He's got a very small truncheon tucked under his arm, and a little notebook in his left hand. And he flips through it a little bit. He goes, okay, I was supposed to tell you something. Tell you what is it? Oh. Yes. In about... He looks up at the sky for a second. You can see he's kind of like doing a little mental math. I'd say in about 30 seconds you would do well to... Oh yes. Run away very fast. That would be a good thing. And he walks back through the portal.
Okay, so Elisa's just gonna casually shrug, turn around, and walk the other way down the alley to get away from the debris.
Alright. It follows. Eliza.
Yeah.
Should we run or...
No, I mean, Elisa, she's casual about destruction, so she figures the buildings will protect her if she's down
she
the
wants to
alleyway.
walk away from the explosion. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should really do that.
Tough guys don't run from explosions,
Yeah.
Alright, I guess my work here is done.
About 30 seconds of continued general sauntering. 3 things happen. First, your shadows get really long for a second, going away from you. And then, right after that, you begin to feel an incredible pressure from behind you, as like a shockwave of force buffets into you from the rear. So you are going to get butt fucked anyway.
Good.
It's just going to get butt fucked by the concept of force. Getting magic missile up that butthole.
I hope it's the handsome concept of force. With abs.
Well, we have a title card, so...
Pounded in the butt by my handsome concept of force with abs. And then, right as that sort of almost lifts you off your feet, you hear an explosion.
I mean, we were walking down an alley and there were buildings around, so I assume the buildings would take most of the explosion.
They do. They take most of the brunt of it. And thing that happens to a building
When it... Yeah.
when it's hit by an explosion...
I mean, if I see debris falling at me, then I'll run, but...
Bits do go flying all at once. Since you're in an alley, in a relatively old city with a lot of buildings made of stone. I would say basically just each of you give me a general dex save to see if you actually get hit by any of the debris.
13.
12.
Oh, that's good because there's only a DC of 10, so you both managed to dodge any
Nice.
falling debris.
Safe spell slot.
Yep. Okay, so there's debris falling, but we just walk past it.
There's debris falling, but literally it just falls around you as you guys continue to just strut.
Yep.
We strut anyway. I was about to ask if I could roll performance to see how cool I looked while doing it.
You can, in fact.
Why? 23. It doesn't matter.
You do an electric slide.
God.
Okay, here's what happens. As you walk out from the alley, as debris is falling everywhere but on you, and obviously and Eliza too, and your group is basically just walking down the road. Basically, just there's music playing in the background. You're all walking in step but casual, and a whole bunch of people are running in terror and panic, and they see you guys and they just stop, and they look, and a few people start to cheer. And boulders just fall out of the sky and crush them to death.
Yes, we killed someone.
Now, while all that's happening, Elisa's gonna do prestidigitation to put sunglasses on.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for reading my mind.
Yep.
Yeah, and also there's a small temple, and like everyone inside the temple had run out to see what was going on, and they see you guys, and to a person, they renounce their gods and decide to worship you instead, and the temple collapses on them and kills them all. You have just doomed an entire, like, congregation to hell.
It was a worthless
So-
religion anyway.
Which one was it?
Which congregation? Oh,
Church of the Holy Butts. It's like a butt family sanctioned church. We're destroying their religion and their culture and their people and their family and their homes. Everything must die.
I like that our body count is way higher than it was 30 seconds ago.
It is actually the Church of the Wisdom of Ebenezer Butt.
Is
They believe in the pragmatic worship of all gods, but just sort of once a week, in case.
okay.
They've renounced all of them at once.
Wow.
You don't have it when all the gods get pissed at you at one time. Yeah.
I love how absolutely insanely powerful we are in situations where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're...
This is fantastic.
Okay, so the wall just exploded, and I assume the army's gonna be storming in to go kill the interior guards.
Should we turn around and look, or do we not care?
Well, we're gonna have to get outside to get the chariot, so we can go find that cave. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, the chariot is still parked near the water entrance.
okay, so we walked down to the end of the alley, saw a bunch of people get smashed, saw a church fall on some people. Elisa notices, but doesn't really acknowledge it. She's just gonna stop, turn her head, look toward the open wall. So,
You want to go out that way?
Well, I guess it's as good as any other way outside.
Muddler raises one finger on the arm that is not carrying Susan, and says, "If I may, there's going to be a lot of people killing each other over there. It might be a little bit crowded."
I assume most of the ones who they would be killing are already dead. So we just have to wait for them to all come in. And then we can go out. I mean, it's either that or we wait for them to knock down the main gate.
I want to see some action. So I'm with Elisa on this one.
so I guess Elisa will walk toward that gate. Does it seem like they're all like charging in? Also, how high up is the wall?
I think
100 feet.
we agreed on how tall the walls were. Yeah, with 100 feet high.
Okay.
They were very tall walls.
Okay, so I can't just fly over the wall if I wanted. Okay, so I guess Elisa will... Okay, she's walking toward that opening. I assume there's like dust settling. Watching and waiting for an opening through the army there to be able to get through to the outside.
Alright, as the dust begins to settle and you begin to actually gain the ability to see what's going on, you can see people coming from the outside of the walls, the invading army.
They don't look happy, right? Because they actually got to fight.
Well, they're not really that excited about poking. It's kind of like
I mean, they can occupy the city for 5 months or however long they were going to stay here.
they're like kind of like poking through, looking around, and they're kind of like looking for defenders. But the one thing you do notice is that there doesn't seem to actually be any fighting going on.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine the defenders are dead. They blew them all up. It would take a while for more people to get to that spot.
Yeah, there are no stab guards or militiamen or military that you can even see anywhere around. As the invading Walpian army sort of walks cautiously through the hole they blew in the wall, with their swords drawn, looking around, kind of confused.
Uh-oh.
And every few steps they're stopping and sending scouts forward. Scouts coming back, kind of like shaking their heads and shrugging, and they move forward a little bit more, and they seem very ill at ease.
I mean, it's either something's coming, or no one actually liked the city all that much, and no one's bothering to defend it. That's pretty much the only two options here.
Mm.
So I guess we could walk out.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're gonna try to stop us, we'll just leave through the hole.
Okay, well, they are pretty much filling the entirety of that area, so you would have to walk through their ranks to get through the
Yeah,
hole.
I'll
that's
levitate
fine.
over them.
I wave.
Yeah, so I'm just levitating over, just give like a quick kind of casual salute to them. And say,
Yeah, have fun, guys. We gotta go places.
Okay, what's the rest of the party gonna do?
Just walking through.
reveling in your improved constitution.
Yeah, and that is a lot of chaos, right? It's proud of itself. I get waving to people, especially the shiny ones if there are any around.
Okay, when you reach the actual the outer wall of the guards as they're not guards, of the invading army as they're coming in, a few of them kind of like look at you, but then they notice that you don't have any weapons drawn. The golem appears to be carrying a big rock. There's a dude with a really cool hairdo. Apparently a small animal armada as well, but you don't see military. So they're just sort of being like, whatever.
That's one of those weird parties of traveling adventurers that seems to cause trouble everywhere they go.
Yeah, there's like, if they're not here, then they might cause trouble for somebody else. So, yeah, they're actually just letting you through as they continue forward. And you can, if you keep going, you'd reach where the actual explosion happened. Well, you notice where the actual wall had been. Obviously, there's no wall, and there's a pretty big crater. No one really seems to give you much notice because, like I said, they're basically waiting for the other shoe to drop because there should have been at least some resistance. Even if it was just a few, homeowners being like, "You take my life, but you never take my family-owned small business that sells amusingly carved turnips!"
That wasn't a thing? No one said that?
It didn't happen.
I mean, Elisa really doesn't give a shit about this city. She doesn't care if it survives or not. I mean, losing the church might be a bit of a damper on plans, but otherwise...
Yeah, and it just likes what just happened.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you can just make your way.
Yep, we'll go find our chariot that we dropped off by the sewer entrance, and
hope that the horses are still alive.
See if anybody vandalized our chariot while it was out there.
When you get there, I'm going to tell you that the horses are alive.
There's grass and stuff.
They are, the area, of course, you left them still hooked up in the chariot. You never said anything about unhooking them. They are standing in just a pile of shit. They haven't been able to go anywhere. They've just been standing there and shitting. That's all horses do. They stand around, they run, and they shit. And they have been shitting.
Can Elisa do prestidigitation to get rid of the shit? I mean, it cleans stuff, so...
You can clean the horses of the shit, but you can't actually get the shit off the ground.
Okay, well, she won't bother then.
We can move the horses out of the shit, and then you can clean them.
Probably a better idea.
I don't have a nose, I don't care.
But you can still smell.
A, that, and B, it would kind of put a damper on our coolness, I think, if we roll up in a shit-covered carriage with shit-covered horses.
Covered in shit.
I mean, either way, let's just get in the chariot and get going.
Yeah.
We got stuff to do.
Let Muddler drive. He knows best.
Okay, Muddler Knows Best was my favorite mid-80s sitcom. It was lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you did do the thing to get the shit off the carriages, please.
Please.
I just don't want to imagine that you were riding into shit-covered carriages.
No.
We already did all the Burning Man jokes we can. Don't need more.
I described to Muddler in detail what I know. I described it to all of them, so I assume Muddler knows. If he gets confused, he can ask me again.
Yeah, basically, as you're going, every now and then, Muddler will kind of glance over at you. You will just point him in the exact direction, because you know exactly where it is. You don't even know how you know it. He makes that noise the entire time he's driving.
He's having a good time.
While we're riding, Elisa will sit down on the side of the chariot and start just browsing through that burned book that she picked up way back when to see if she can find any more Nightmare King information out of it. or other useful arcana.
Eliza is being a nerd again. Cool.
Yeah, no, she's being a nerd because she needs information for her murder.
Yeah.
She's planning a very big murder, and it needs a lot of information.
Yes. What do you think is the best course of action? I would say we just obliterate this anomaly, but last time we spoke, it kind of sounded like you had different plans for it.
I'm not sure yet. It depends on its usefulness, which we will determine when we find it. Now, this whole Nightmare King situation, I am currently investigating how we can turn it to our favor. It seems like this thing could be a very powerful weapon if we could get it to target the right people.
Wouldn't it just target everyone?
I mean, there's still some unanswered questions, like... Okay, so it apparently thinks that the world has ended when there are still people in it, which means it's looking for a specific group of people. I'm not sure. Does it think, like, if all the world's heroes are dead, does it assume then that it needs to step in? Because it's not as simple as these wizards are making it out to sound. There is something this thing wants. And if we can figure that out, that would be our first step to figuring out how we could use it to target the bats. And only the bats.
But it's not a creature, right? So
they
how would
say.
it want anything?
Yeah.
Do you think the information is false?
I think they don't know what they're talking about. I think there's more to be learned. So before we obliterate this anomaly, we should try to gather all the information we can from it. And even then, I don't know if they've already gotten what they need from it. Like, do they need it to continue this plan to survive? Will they, if we kill it, does that stop their plan, or can they continue it without this thing? If they can continue it without this thing, perhaps we could use its ability as well. Because I'm not planning to die here, no matter how this shakes out.
None of us are. So, from what you're saying...
If we can capture it, then perhaps it will be useful. But we'll keep it on a short leash, and we will slit its throat if it becomes danger to keep it alive.
We could always hide it somewhere the bats don't know.
You have a small zoo following you. I think we could just keep it there.
It could be difficult to keep it from the butts if we drag it around.
Well, I'm working on plans for that too. I think first we need to capture this thing. Determine if it's useful. If it's not useful at all, then we'll just kill it. But if it has some use, we may need to keep it alive for a time. And this place is apparently a repository of all their research. So we'll gather all the information we can from that. And then we start assembling forces to eliminate the rest of the bats. Unless this Nightmare King plan is farther along than we've been led to believe. There's still a lot of unknowns here.
You have been thinking about this a lot.
Yes. No, Reginald has shown me that the bats are a more serious problem than I ever gave them credit for. And that needs to be resolved.
Let me just say that I'm glad that you are on my side.
Don't worry, you'll have a comfortable place in the new order that's coming.
I'm sure. Thank you in advance.
So outrageous to toll. You can lose all you have. He refused to give in. so free.